It is notable as consequences of racial profiling leading to the over-policing of people perceived as foreigners, including people of African descent. In addition, the migration status of defendants influenced decisions to place them in pretrial detention instead of envisaged alternatives to the detention. Overcrowding rates are critically high in Belgian prisons, with a significant impact on the conditions of detention and therefore on human rights of detainees. One of the causes of this overpopulation is the increased number of people in pretrial detention. We were informed that over 96% of detainees are men. However, women in detention are perceived more harshly, and among them, women of African descent are particularly affected by negative stereotypes. We heard testimony of some women of African who had their children taken away from them because they were facing a criminal process. A large proportions of people with mental health conditions are placed in prisons due to lack of capacity in specialized mental health institutions. We would like to emphasize that prisons are not the solution, as adequate medical care cannot be provided there. Access to justice. There is a perception among racialized communities of a two-speed justice system, which is a bias against them. Lawyers are expensive and have no expertise in human rights, social justice, or resistance. We heard from affected communities and individuals that it is common for lawyers to suggest dropping the resistance arguments because it does not have the overall strategy to the case. All criminal justice actors, including prosecutors, lawyers, judges, magistrates, defenders, need to be trained in systematic resistance in the legacies of colonialism. Finally, in terms of the application of international treaties and human rights standards, the OPCA ratifications, the OPCA international protocols to prevent torture of the United Nations, these mechanisms welcomes the express willingness of the government to ratify the optional protocol of OPCA, a key instrument to prevent torture or infringement in places of deprivation of liberty. We also welcome the designation of the Federal Institute for the Protection and Promotion of Human Rights as the prevention mechanisms at the federal level. Regional and local prevention mechanisms need to be established as soon as possible, and adequate resources should be provided to all of them. Thank you very much.
Have a very long history with law enforcement that really ebbs and flows, but particularly has one in which there are encounters that are not just violent, but in some cases deadly. When you're working with this process, and I should also say that when you are looking at the experiences of those of African and African descent, whatever changes that are made to the system not only benefits them, but benefits everybody else. It's something that we are always aware of. So for example, if we talk about domestic violence and when do you provide services, if you are also providing services to one, you should be providing services to everyone. And so we always believe, and I believe, that when you are trying to make corrections and trying to support the work of officers, when officers treat the community well, everybody's treated